All right, guys, welcome to math. We are going over the second half of chapter 13, part 2. And last time we were working on if we are the perimeter and a side of a rectangle, we can go ahead and find what the my brain will function. We can go ahead and find what the other side is worth. Or if we're in a square and we're given the perimeter, we can go ahead and we can find the side and what that's worth. What we're going to do right now is we're going to be working primarily with area. So we can find the area of a rectangle using a formula. So just like with perimeter, right? Perimeter is length plus width plus length plus width, right? Or we do side times 4 for a square. For area, we also have a formula. So perimeter was if you were to just stretch out the lines on the outside of the shape. Area is all of the space inside of a shape, right? So all of this guy that's highlighted in over here, that's the area that we're looking at. So think of something like you're trying to fill or paint rather the surface of a box, or you have a carpet and you're trying to carpet from wall to wall. So the way that we find this, right, is these are little square units on the inside. They're each worth 1. So you guys can count these up. But what we'll notice as we count these up is that I have 3 groups of 5 each. And we know that when we have groups, we can multiply them together, right? I have 5 groups of 3, or you could say 3 groups of 5. So for my area, I can just do 5 times 3, or length times width, and that's going to give me my area. So the formula for area of a rectangle is length times width. So let's go ahead and apply this to kind of what we've been doing. If we're given a rectangle, right, and we're giving this area and one of the sides, we can find what the other side is worth. So here you can see I have a rectangle, right? This is a rectangular carpet, and my area is 63 meters squared. Now I know that the length is 9 meters. So if I know that 9 times the width is equal to 63, I'm going to do the opposite operation. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to take 63 and I'm going to divide it now by 9, and that's going to give me my width. And when I divide 63 by 9, what I'm left with is 7 meters. So the width of this rectangle is 7 meters. So you guys can go ahead on your practice sheet and you can complete number 5 in your guided learning. Sorry, I hit my little face button on accident. All right. Let's turn our page. So now, pause if you need to finish that. Now, we're going to work with squares. If I'm given one side and the perimeter, I'm going to find what the side and the perimeter of a square is given its area. So when we're looking at, when we're looking at squares, right? Squares, all of the sides are the same, which means that when we're talking about the formula for the area of a square, we're going to say that the area is equal to the length times the length. We can also write this as side times side. And what you're eventually going to see this is something called side squared. This is an exponent, right? And all that this exponent means is that you're multiplying that side by itself, right? So instead of doing side times 2, you're doing side times side. Now, squares, perfect squares are what we call these numbers. They're just things you have to memorize, right? You can kind of try to guesstimate and check yourself using a calculator, but really we just memorize perfect squares. And I'll be honest with you, like Miss Wolf has not memorized all of her perfect squares. I have like 6 times 6 is 36, 4 times 4 is 16, 2 times 2 is 4. You could do 3 times 3 is 9, right? These are all perfect squares. But like once you get to like 7 and above, I can't memorize those necessarily. So I just use a calculator, right? Because we are human beings and we can't always memorize all of our facts, but we have tools that can help us. So if I have the area, which is 25 of this square G, right? I have to find out what a side is worth. Well, with 25, the best bet is 5, right? 5 times 5 is 25. And we know that because when we're multiplying 5s, the answer to 5s can only be 5 or 0 as the last digit in that number. So 5 times 5 is 25. So I now know that the length of one side is 5. Now I could take 5 to find the perimeter. So with a square, my perimeter is just 4 times one side. So I'm going to take 5 times 4, and that's going to give me 20. So now I know that the perimeter of this shape is 20. So I want you guys to do the same thing. You're going to do problem 6, both parts A and B. That's everything that we're doing today, guys. Once you're done with this, you are done with math for the day. And tomorrow, you guys are going to be working on the let's practice. So there are 6 questions here, all about kind of what we've been doing. So I hope that you guys are doing well, and I'll talk with you more later. Bye.